Welcome, Marble fans, to Season 2 of the Racing Marble League. And with Season 2 rolls in 27 new competitors to this league. Tryout 1 will give you a look at all 47 of them coming from 11 different countries as they all compete for only 20 open spots in the True Racing Marble League Season 2. It will take 4 tryout events to narrow this group down, but once they are narrowed, those top 20 marbles achieving the coveted 20 spots will go head-to-head in the 6 Season 2 races. Tryout 1 is going to be a time trial for these 47 marbles to get their speed out there on the track. We have a track divided into 2 sectors. The track sector, the first one, and the second sector, a rail sector. You can see that single file orange track below. We call those rails here in the marble world. And that will allow for some more speed, maybe. Not much lateral motion allowed there, but that's going to be tough for some marbles to not have that space to move around. We do have one more new track piece, and Arjun here will get started with the race zone. He's tough right out of the gate. Look at him hesitating in that starting gate. That doesn't spell good for Arjun so early into the tryout, so early that we just started. And he does weave well through the highways, back and forth he goes. And he'll hit that new track feature in just a moment here. Down the stairs, doing well. He will set the bar for the sector 1 time. And you see there as he goes into these grooves, hits that first new track feature called the Muller Corner. And that is when the track is split within itself into 3 different lanes. Accidental Genius will get going here too, and we have a 28.13 time for Arjun here in the track section. The rails off camera. We will get a good look at the finish line here. He crosses with a setting time of 47.96, 1983 on the second sector, and Accidental Genius will have all he can do to beat it. Here's the Muller Corner, takes that inside line, does bump off the side there, now moving to the outside line, but he heads into the rail with a slightly better time, it seems, than Arjun. 28.11, not really much better, but slightly better. Remember, Arjun was 18th place overall in last season. Accidental Genius was actually 11th place, and Blaster's a rookie, so we haven't really seen him race so far, but he's out into the track, and he's rolling well. Can he beat that 28.11 time here through the first sector? He takes the outside line here, and you can see that rookie inexperience showing how slow he was through that outside line, and he is definitely not going to have that first sector time. He does have the rails to make it up, though. He whips down through those first 360s pretty well, and we have another rookie getting going here, Blizzard, into the first sector. 30.75 for Blaster there in the first sector. Not very good. He will cross the line. And actually made up a lot of time in that second sector, 17.46. I think that is our fastest second sector time so far. And he will slot into P2 overall, but not by much, 0.25 seconds off. Here we go, Blizzard into the second sector. You can see the time for his split is black, meaning that he neither was the worst in that sector nor the best. And sometimes that's the best place to be. You want to stay in the middle right now. These are tryouts. You don't want to use up all your energy. You just want to show that you are capable of racing in the top 20 spots. Chaos Kitten weaving her way through the first sector here, about halfway. She is also a rookie, and it might be showing here. She's kind of slow through these turns here and will not cross the first sector with a good time, 30.86. Accidental Genius having the worst time so far, with a 1.46 split behind the first place leader. And now we got Cheese Puff, another rookie. Getting a look at a lot of new marbles today. Chaos Kitten crosses with a good time of 17.79 in the second sector, and only about 1 second behind the leader of Blizzard with a 47.66. That is a really good time to put up on this track so early, especially from a rookie. And Blizzard wasn't necessarily the best out there in the first sector, but he really made it up on the rail sector, and that's That's where it counts. That's where you have straight speed, no lateral movement, no attenuators and chicanes to worry about. Just straight as fast as you can, and Blizzard shows that he at least can handle that kind of racing. Oh, look at that, Dory, rookie marble, coming out very slow through that one vertical hairpin, you could call it. And that will not spell good for the first sector time of Dory. Cheese Puff, though, 2.62, can't even make the top 5 here. Another rookie fails to prove themselves well here in the first time trials. Look at that split time, 32.31, and that may be the worst split time we've seen so far. We have Dragon Egg getting going. Dragon Egg with, I believe, there's a counterpart similar in the JMR Sand Marble Rally. Bumps off the attenuators there and definitely changes direction in the wrong way. And look at Dory, 4.33 over. That's not just bad as far as the top 5 goes, but that may put Dory really towards the bottom of the field here, going out of tryout 1. Dragon Egg, well through the first sector, 28.5, as long as you can keep under 29 through that first sector. And you're racing pretty well, and should be able to at least take the top of the field, top half, through this first tryout. Dragon Egg crosses the line, 48, I think, 48 barely. 0.34 over, you can do that addition in your head. I think he's just hit that 48 mark. And he will slot into P3. Good work for him. And it is Duchess 2 rolling out here through the first sector. Slow through the first sector, 32.33. And I think that might even be the worst time, even worse than Dory, who struggled out of that hairpin, that vertical hairpin in the recent few time trials ago. And Duchess 1, who we saw in Season 1, 19th place finisher overall. She's making her way out into the track now. Bad finish for Duchess 2, P9, 5.45. But Duchess 1 is coming back a little bit better, took the inside line there, and has the best time through the first sector. Now into the rail sector. And we'll have to check back with her in a second. Duke, another rookie, will get going here. 26.28. Duchess 1 might take the top of the field right here. Duchess 1 crossing the line, and P1 is hers. 46.21 seconds. Her second sector time not actually even close to the best so far. We've seen some 17.75s out there, and that's a 19.93, but her first sector time was better than definitely expected. And, well, the same can't be said for Duke, who almost came to a complete stop there through the Muller corner. But he'll eventually mosey his way on out to the track and continue things through the rail sector. 38.86. That is easily the worst time to the first sector. El Sol, another rookie, will get going here as well. And Duke, I think, will set a record here, but not necessarily a good one, as it'd be very hard-pressed to see another marble suffer the same fate of almost stopping dead on the track. P11, Duke will take, as only 11 marbles have raced. 17 seconds behind Duchess 1 in first with a 46.21 time. El Sol, much better through that first sector, actually almost matched Duchess right there with a 26.9, just a little bit over, and have a chance to take top 5 right here as long as this rail time is pretty good. And FlashFire, the rookie, will roll out here. How will he do through these highway with the attenuators? Very good, actually. Very smooth movements. And El Sol takes P2. He even does better than Blizzard, who was our held that first place spot for quite a while. A good 5 time trials after. FlashFire, 28.7 through the first sector. Not bad. Should be good enough to at least place mid-pack in this tryout, but he may not be able to grab a top 5 spot. Fleur de Lis. Yet another rookie rolling out here. We can take a look at his performance here on the highway. Oh, bobbles a little bit there on the last attenuator, and he will lose a couple seconds there. And he seems to be rolling well so far through the next part of this first sector. How will we take the Muller corner? Very well, and that's exactly what I want to do. Take the inside line and bump to the inside line on the other chicane. Does it well. 28.3 through the first sector. And he'll continue to roll. Fury, another rookie. A lot of new rookies rolling today. And it's good to see some new racers out there. Crimson Lady's not the only marble who is good at racing, and be good to see some challengers this season. 1.39 Florida lists behind Duchess 1, but will take P3. A very good time through the first sector and decent through the second sector, so Florida list might be a marble to look out for. Let's take a look at Fury. Another good time through the first sector, under 27, and that is something to note. Marbles that can do that will probably at least be a good racing marble on the track, not necessarily the rail, as it seems that marbles with the best Sector 1 time struggle in Sector 2, getting over 19, and again, it works out that way, 19.93 for Fury. And he will take P3 and put Florida list down to 4. Blizzard almost about to drop off now, who held the field just a little while ago. And Goat, pretty fast through the first sector, but struggled on the transition right there. Goat, second overall in the first season with 2 podium finishes, a first and a second. A gold and a silver, if you will. And we expect more from Goat, to be honest. The 28.18 in the first sector is not really something I'd call impressive from a marble as skilled as Goat. 19.86 in the second sector, and Goat's in trouble. At least as far as status goes. He takes P8 and probably will be fine for now. But what about Gaia? The rookie almost slowing to a stop there in the first sector. Not nearly as bad as some of the races we've seen before. Some marbles really almost came to no momentum at all. But he'll get going 30.83. That's no match for that 38-second first sector we saw earlier. But still pretty bad. The final rail sector time for Gaia is 20.89, and P14 is the perfect place for Gaia here. Not a very good finish. Wasn't fast through either sector, and he's going to struggle through the next few tryouts if he can't pick up that speed. Outside line on the Muller corner for Glory, the rookie. Took the inside line on the second chicane, but no luck through that first sector. 30.4, and top 5 might be out of the question here. Icarus, the rookie, getting going here. So many rookies. So many marbles thinking that they have all the speed and skill necessary to compete in the Racing Marble League. And so many marbles are going to come across disappointed. 4.67 under for Duchess. Under Duchess for Glory there. Slotting into P14. And Icarus, 26.38 through the first sector, and Icarus might not be a marble who will be disappointed at least after tryout 1. The final rail time, he could take P1 right here. We'll get a vantage point on Icarus in a moment. And Luminous, the rookie, well through the first highway and set of attenuators. Icarus crosses with a terrible rail time of 20.27. And he could have had P1 right there, but by 0.44 seconds, leaves the table still open for Duchess 1, who still rules the field right now. What about Luminous, though? 28.23 for the first sector. If the second sector is amazing, he could slot into the top 5. And we also have Marbulus Orontius, who placed 5 overall in the previous season. No podium finishes, but a very consistent racer. He can't knock consistency, kind of like Team Galactic, if you're willing to cross over for a moment. A team who doesn't podium much, but is very consistently in the top half. And, well, Marbulus is in the same way right now. 28.03 through the first sector. And it looks like the second sector for Marbulus will decide whether he can slot into top 5 or not. Duchess 1 still our current leader. Mocha, the rookie, shooting out here onto the highway, dodging the attenuators with absolute beautiful skill right there. P7 for Marbulus, 1.57 over. Tough rail time for him. He needed to bring that down under 19, but could not. Mocha, the inside line on the Muller corner, whips out of the first sector, and look at that, a 28.01. Not bad, just above that 28 mark. And for a rookie, you got to give credit if they can bring it down to 28 or below in that first sector. Octane, another rookie, rolling out here. Good through the highway until that final attenuator, which bumped him right up into the air. And, well, you might think that might give him more momentum, but probably not. We don't want any vertical momentum here for marbles. That's not going to push them forward. And look at him slow through the outside line of that Muller corner. Not very strategic there, and he will leave the first sector with a 29.23. We head to the final rail sector for Octane, and as we say that, Panda from Season 1, placing 4th overall, will roll out here onto the highway. How does he do on the highway? Pretty well. Didn't even touch most of the center attenuators. Octane crosses in P12. A tough last sector for him, and an even tougher first sector. Panda, we expect big things from him, and big things he delivers as he crosses that Muller corner on the inside line. The best way to cross it, the most efficient way. 28.38 in the first sector. Not bad, but you would expect more from a 4th place overall finisher here in Season 1. How would that rail time look for Panda, though? Well, while we wait for that, Polyonics. Good through the first set of attenuators there, and 14th overall in Season 1 with a first place finish to his name. He struggled after race 1 for sure, but he is no slouch of a racer, taking a gold in 1 of 6 races, which is pretty good percentage if you ask me. Polyonics, 27.9 through the first sector, heading to the rail sector. And the time continues to count up for Polyonics, but he might take P1 right here. That's a really good first sector time. It's going to depend on his rail time. And it's not going to be good enough for first. P15, actually, so he had a tough rail sector. Look at that, almost 21 seconds on the rail. But what about Predator? He does take the inside line here. So definitely smart racing out there, and crosses into Sector 2 with 26.8. He was 10th overall in the first season. And he had 2 third-place finishes to his name. Quicksilver, 8th overall in the first season with a first place and a second place to his name, so certainly made it count when he was in the front. Predator takes P5 as we watch Quicksilver weave through the obstacle course of Sector 1. Very bad second sector for Predator, but very good first sector, and that's going to give him that P5 spot. Quicksilver not so hot here in the first sector, 28.7. Ooh, and that's not very good for a marble we saw place first and second in the previous season. Raging Relic might have something new to say about the first sector, though, as we got another rookie out there on the track. Quicksilver, P14. Not very good, and was not good through the rail sector as well, though a little bit better than some of the other marbles. We're getting upwards of 21. 27.58 for Raging Relic through the first sector, and that's one of the better times we've seen today from a rookie marble in the first sector. Rampage rolling out already 2, another rookie. Now let's take a look how the final sector will be for Raging Relic. He crosses the rails, and P6 is his, and honestly, I would knock that, especially if you're a rookie right now. Don't get your name on the top there in the top 5, but, well, I mean, this is only tryout 1, and pretty much the top 20 is good for any marble right now. 27.86 for Rampage, and then another rookie coming out strong here in the first sector. What about the rail sector, though, for Rampage? We'll have to wait and see. Red Baron Sky, another rookie rolling out. Ooh, bobbles a little bit in that first attenuator into the highway, and that's going to take some time away from him. P10 for Rampage, had a tough second sector. Could not make up any ground, almost 20 seconds. Red Baron Sky bounces between the chevrons right there and rolls very slowly through the Muller corner. Outside line, not very good. I thought he was going to maybe be a little quicker. Seemed very agile through the beginning, but struggled a little bit, and will go to the rails. Well, definitely a bad first sector time for Red Baron with a 31.21, one of the worst today. No 38, but it's still not anything to write home about. And Roadrunner. Let's see if he lives up to his name. Maybe a little too fast there as he bounds off the attenuator. The final one there on the highway. And cannot get his footing. What about the Muller corner? Takes the outside line. Not very good. And Red Baron was even worse, though. P26, I think I saw down for him, and that's going to be a rough finish for the rookie. Roadrunner, 30.4 through the first sector, so definitely slower than I expected, but well, he's still rolling out there. We don't know what's going to happen yet. Maybe his rail time will be above that anything we've seen before. But as we wait and fail to see Roadrunner cross until that moment right there. P24. That's certainly not impressive. Sacred Snow out there on the track. Will he take the inside line? Yes. So at least some of the rookies have been paying attention to the track, and taking that outside line of that one chicane leaves him from having to bump through that little 90-degree turn right before the end of the sector. So very smart racing from Sacred Snow. 26.73 on the lap through the first sector. The final rail, he crosses, and he is P3, right below El Sol by about 0.12, 0.14 if you really want to math it out. And let's see if Serpent Smart is as smart as Sacred Snow. Absolutely not. Is able to avoid that bump off the 90, but it doesn't really matter. Look at that time, 31.29. You'd need to avoid a lot more mistakes to really be worth noting at this point. But really, definitely eyes on Sacred Snow right now. Not only fast, but very smart racer as well. What about Silver Blur? Was a blur through that highway section, but not in a very good way. Saw him go airborne at least twice. And that's going to be a rough way to start for Silver Blur. He does take... Ooh, I thought he was going inside line, but then he whips over to the outside. Takes the middle lower path there through the second Muller corner, and, well, 29.81 is the best he can say through the first sector. He was fast, but not very smart, and missed opportunities to conserve his energy. But, you know, Sinatra's getting out there, and he's not a rookie. He's a veteran. We might see some more clean racing. Silver Blur will cross in P25. Not very good. Tough in the second sector for him as well. Sinatra 17th overall in the first season. No podiums to his name, but he was in the first season. That's worth something. 27.08, and Sinatra is saying that he is worth something. That is a good first sector time. It's no 26.5, but it's definitely worth noting. He will probably slot into the top 10 placements right here, depending on his rail time. What will it be? Well, Skunk a little bit shaky through that highway section, and that could be rough for him. P7, there you go, Sinatra. Really here to race today, and I think that might even be pushing Blizzard out of the top 10 at this point. We definitely have to wait for the final scores to see that. Skunk still taking the right line there in the Muller corner, but somehow still hit off the 90s pretty badly. Skunk overall finish in the first season of 21, and I believe no podiums to his name. 27.46 through the first sector. Wow, stumbled on my words there, just kind of how spectacular looked through that first sector. Not very fast for him. Stumbling through the chevrons, a lot of lateral motion. Takes that middle line, something we have not seen so far today. First time the middle line has been used, 27.78, so maybe I was wrong. I'm stumbling more than spectacular. Who is racing pretty well for a rookie. Is spectacular the word to describe it? Depends on his rail time. T-Bot, third overall in Season 1, and 3 podium finishes to his name, P12 for spectacular, so I wouldn't describe him as such on this particular time trial, but good enough to definitely make a mark in the tryouts. T-Bot is supposedly one of the best racers in the game, and did everything wrong through the Muller corner. Outside line, hit off the 90, crossed over the middle, a lot of lateral motion, 29.61 in the first sector, and I'm sure T-Bot is not feeling very good about that. He had a bronze and 2 silvers in the first season. Tiger, rookie, roaring out onto the track here, weaves through the 90. Looks composed, but maybe not the fastest out there. What about the chevrons? He bounces around a lot and stays true, but will take that outside line, which is going to hurt him. Is able to avoid... I thought he was going to avoid the 90, and I had to stop my sentence right there. And because he definitely did not. 27.83, and... decent time. Fast, but not necessarily the best. His rail time will really be the telling moment. Tornado. A flurry of racing out on the track. Another rookie. And the first set of track is looking pretty good for Tornado, but he does take that outside line. That is a time loss. He is able to, again, hitting off that attenuator, just bumping it. And that's going to be tough for Tornado. 27.31 on the first sector, but he could have been better. And he should slot into a nice placement, though. Trixie getting going as well, right behind Tornado. Tornado crossing pretty well, and P9 for Tornado. Tough on the final rail sector, and if it wasn't for those couple mistakes in Sector 1, he might have been able to take a P5 position. Trixie seems to be struggling through the first sector, 29.30. And, well, 30.81 pretty much determines how you're going to do at the rest of the track. We haven't seen many large differences in time through Sector 2, as it's very single file and really more about your own endurance. So somewhere between 20 and 17 is the likely finish on the rail time. Trixie crosses and over 20, so just wanted to prove me wrong there, I guess. But P36 is not a fun way to prove me wrong. That is a really, really bad time. Two-Tone, rookie, rolling through the first sector and into the second one with a 28.65. And I gotta be honest, for a rookie, that is not a time to knock. If you're under 29 through that first sector, don't be feeling bad right now. There's many more tryouts to go. A lot of opportunity for you as a racer to develop. But don't be feeling bad about a 28.65 in the first sector. He'll cross. He will take P27 though, but that's really because of his rail time, which was over 20 seconds. Should be able to keep that below 20, even under 19 on a good day. And we see our second middle line here from a racer, rookie Undertow, 28.85 through that first sector. And Victoria's Secret will get going, another rookie. Undertow, we don't know much about him. That's really all I have to say. And wow, he's crossing the rail quick though. There you go, 45.99, and there's P1 with a first sector time of 28.85. It's hard to believe that he was able to pull a 17.14 in that second sector, but the rails were really nice to Undertow, and we have a P1 rookie. Victoria's Secret, 28.63. Through that first sector, about the same as Undertow. And Wicked Owl, yet another rookie, will get his shot at it. How will Wicked Owl look through the highway section? Pretty good, actually, gotta say. P12 for Victoria's Secret, 18.74 on the rails. That's a time we haven't seen in a while either. And it seems like these rookies towards the end of the pack have been doing pretty well when it comes to the rails. The outside line for Wicked Owl, not good. And the inside on that one Muller corner right after, and that's going to give him a 30.76 on the first sector. Not good. And Wicked Owl might have to hoot another day. And he will not be crossing for a while down there. Ooh, a tough bump off the last attenuator for Wild Canuck. P38 for Wicked Owl. That's all I got to say about that. Wild Canuck, though. Maybe some redemption here for the viewers. Can we get a good time? 28.43 through the first sector. What about the rail time, though? We've seen some good rail times, so maybe this end of the pack will have some better rail times. Wild Canuck, will he be one of the racers to set a new bar in the rail sector? And then we got Zero. And hopefully Zero isn't the time he's going to be putting up in this time trial, because that would mean he didn't even make it to the end of the track. Wild Canuck, a P23 right there. But Zero is actually pretty good through the first sector for a rookie, 28.36. And now he's going to try to keep that time low through the second sector. He looks pretty good, actually. We're getting a view of it now. There's no other marbles to race. Zero towards the end of the track. 46, 47. He crosses P19 just a little bit too late. And you can see the final results up in front. Undertow, Duchess 2, El Sol, Sacred Snow, Icarus. I believe Duchess 1 is actually the second place time. Those are your top 5 times. And look at the bottom where we have Duke in that 38.86 first sector time. Not very good. But 3 more tryout events to go. Don't forget to drop a sub on the Racing Marbles channel if you've been enjoying, and join us next time as we streak towards Racing Marbles Season 2 main event. 3 more tryout events, and we'll narrow it down to 20 great racers.